End of round 7, the Germans bought 3 infantry on Ukraine, 3 mechanized on Romania, 3 more on Normandy, a couple more on France with a couple bombers there, and just shuffled around their guys, moved some more into Belarus to try and put some more pressure on Russia and get an advantage in the Eastern Front. That's about all for the Germans. And for the Russians, bought 9 infantry and repaired their industrial complex. The Germans had bombed them with 1 bomber. They took back some territory along the western border for them and moved their sub to 113. The Americans bought a battleship, an aircraft carrier, a fighter, and a tactical, and a transport. Moved everyone to C-Zone 91 into Gibraltar, Morocco rather, and moved some guys up here. They landed in French Africa after taking out an Italian sub or transport in 82. And they also took out a German submarine in C-Zone 109. And the British bought a destroyer in 109. A couple infantry and a couple tanks in Persia. Nothing else for the British other than moving a bunch of tanks and artillery into Russia to help out their allies. The Italians bought a couple subs down here in Africa and a tactical and a fighter in Italy and 3 infantry in Leningrad. Moved up into Karelia with the Germans to attack Finland hopefully this round. They attacked the British destroyer and sub in 79, took them out, no loss. They also attacked C-Zone 91 with 2 fighters and a bomber. Killed 4 guys after 2 rounds of combat and lost all 3, but the Germans are going to come in with 8 more to take out all those transports hopefully. So that should be very helpful in the Western Front. And the French just staying where they are. End round 8, the Germans bought 2 artillery and an infantry on Ukraine, 2 mechanized on Romania, 3 subs in C-Zone 93, and an industrial complex in Egypt. They moved into Transjordan with 3 infantry and artillery and a bomber. They bombed Persia. They attacked the American Navy in C-Zone 91, took out all those transports, 7 of them, including a carrier and a destroyer and cruiser. And they moved their tank from France to Germany. And that's about all for the Germans. The Russians bought 9 infantry and a mechanized, moved closer to Belarus and Leningrad. The Germans also took out Finland from the Russians, finally. That's all for the Germans. The Americans bought some tanks, infantry, and some transports. Attacked the German sub in C-Zone 122. And they moved some subs into C-Zone 93. But the Italians took them out with a couple destroyers and a fighter and tactical. The Americans also landed in French West Africa with an infantry and artillery and another bomber. That would be all for the Americans. The British bought 2 artillery on Persia, 3 on West India, trying to stock up as the Italians and Germans are coming. The Italians bought a few infantry in Africa, an infantry and a bomber in southern Italy, and 3 artillery in Leningrad. Moved some subs off the coast of Persia and Iraq to convoy them a bit. And that's all for them. The French moved from Iraq to Persia. And that's all for round 8.